Good afternoon, class. In today's class, we are going to discuss regarding the break-even analysis, which is the last part of the second unit. Okay. So before we go into the exact break-even analysis, first as an introduction, you have to see like this. So what is our main concept when we do a business, right? The major goal, the major goal of doing business is to attain the profit only, right? The major goal may be attaining profit, and also not only that, when we are doing some business, not only that, we also include enlarging the customer base. What is this enlarging customer base? Enlarging customer base in the sense, we want to improve. If you are a product, if your company is a product based company, the number of persons who use your product should be increased. Then only in future we will not have any problem. Okay. So though our business main concept is to improve the profits as a part of the business, it can be achieved with the help of different types of ideas, such as first one is increasing the customer base. That means if your company is a product based company, you should have more number of customers. That means if you the same type of product can be available in the market, but the customers should try your product and they should get satisfied, and they have to start using your product. Then only you will have more number of sales. Okay. So to achieve the profits, a good profits, we have to increase the customer base. Not only that, we have to enter into the new markets, innovation through major investments in research and development, and so on. So you can see this as an example. Some of the companies you can see, Wipro. If you see the Wipro company, it is having software industry. It is having product-based companies, such as you can see the soap, the Santur. The Santur soap is from Wipro only. Okay. Not only that, we also observe some of the bulbs. They are also from the Wipro. At present situation, they also entered into the sanitizer business also. Okay, you can see the advertisement in the television sets. The some of the companies, that is for example, that's Wipro. It is also producing the sanitizers. That means based upon the situation. So in this pandemic situation, we all are using the sanitizers. So there is a huge demand for it, and they thought that it's better to produce the sanitizer from their company, and they have produced it and they are selling it, right? Not only that, you can see the Tata company, right? They are producing different types of products. They are producing different types of products. You can see Tata is also having the software company called as TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. Not only that, it is also producing so many vehicles, say cars, okay, SUVs, sports utility vehicles, are also some other, and even the Tata is also producing some vehicles for military also. Okay, they are producing some vehicles which can be used in the warfare for the transportation of different war equipment. They are producing different types of vehicles. Okay, That means a single company is entering into the new variety of markets. Mostly, generally, we used to make profit only. To make this profit, we should know that first concept is first we should not have loss. Next, we should have the idea of no profit, no loss condition. Then we'll have the profit. That means at a point of time when you do the business, you will be knowing that how much amount of output has to be produced in such a way that you will not have any loss. So when you do a business, your main motto or your major goal is to have the profits. Not only that, our business motto may be serving serving to the nation or serving to the customer. Okay, we always don't think of profits only. We also think of doing this type of activities. Okay, so what are the case may be, if you get profit only, you can help others. So you should know how you should not get the loss. So that thing you can learn from this break even analysis. When you will find a point that is called as break even point. Okay, where your total revenue is equal to the total cost. Total revenue is equal to the total cost. That means the condition where you don't have either profit or loss. So break even point is the point at which total revenue is equal to the total cost. And it is the point where you don't have either profit or loss. Okay, so when we want to analyze this break even analysis, we have some assumptions there. Okay, so generally what we think is if we produce some minimum number of products, and if you sell it to know the market strategy, we think that we don't have loss. But to produce some goods, we have to produce some number. That thing we have to identify here. If you produce that particular number of goods, and if you sell that particular goods at some cost, then only you will have either profit or loss. That is what we have to analyze here in the break-even analysis. So if you produce the less number of goods than the prescribed one, you will have the loss. Okay. So you see here we have some assumptions. What are the assumptions you can see? So you just understand once. In the break-even analysis, we are identifying the break-even point. What is this break-even point? Break-even point is the point where the total revenue is equal to the total cost. At this particular point, there will not be any profit or loss in our business, right? Right. So to identify this break-even point, we have some assumptions. Say we call it as all the costs are classified into two, either fixed or the variable. Okay, we have some assumptions for this break-even analysis. What are it? We have different types of costs. We classify all those costs into two categories only. One is either a fixed cost or a variable cost. We also have seen those concepts called as semi-variable cost or semi-fixed cost. They assume that there are only two varieties of cost, either fixed cost or variable cost. That's it. Okay. Next, fixed cost remains constant at all levels of output. Okay. What are the fixed costs? Fixed costs are the ones which are which are constant. These costs remains constant at all levels of the output. Though we increase the output or decrease the output, whatever the case may be, this fixed cost remains constant. So generally, when we think of the fixed costs, so we also have some key terms for this concept, right? Called as, we see here. First, we see the key terms. First one is the fixed cost. Okay. Okay. Fixed cost is the it will be remaining fixed in the short run, and we can have an examples for this fixed cost just like a rent, insurance, depreciation, factory supervisor salaries, director salaries, and so on. These all are the fixed costs only. Okay. So in the short run, the rent is not going to vary, insurance is not going to vary, depreciation is not going to vary. So we call it as the fixed cost, right? Next, variable cost. Variable cost per unit vary with the volume of production. Variable cost in the sense, this variable cost per unit vary with the volume of production. Generally, direct materials, raw materials, what we get, okay? Direct materials, direct labor, direct expenses, operating supplies. So operating supplies means if we are having a huge machinery, we also have to give lubrication for it. That means we have to give some grease or some other lubricating oils to it. Generally, they used to vary repeatedly. Okay, and also not only that, the maintenance of the machine. Sometimes that machinery may be get damaged or may get repaired. We have to invest some amount on those machineries. Those will be nothing but the variable costs. So you know what the total cost is. The total cost is nothing but the summation of this fixed cost and the variable cost. So you also should know the total revenue. Total revenue. What is the total revenue? Generally, total revenue in the sense, if I have produced 1,000 number of units, if you have produced 1,000 number of units, and if you are selling each unit at a cost of 10 rupees, okay, if you are producing 1,000 number of goods and you are selling each good at a cost of 10 rupees, how much revenue you are going to generate? Okay, we just multiply the number of units sold. Number of units sold. You have produced 1,000 number of units, well and good, but you have sold only 600 number of 600 number of goods. What you have produced, and 600 into the unit single unit cost is 10 rupees, right? So you have to multiply with 10. 600 into 10, that is 6,000 rupees is your revenue you have generated so far. Okay, do you get what revenue is? So generally, we have to improve this total revenue. How it is possible? If you do the sales properly, the goods whatever you produce, if it is sold once, that is you have the total good revenue. Okay, that is general revenue. The total revenue is nothing but the total units multiplied, total units, number of units, total number of units produced multiplied with the single unit cost. That is the total revenue. Okay. So we also have this concept called as contribution, right? So what is this contribution? Contribution is the difference between the sales and the variable costs. Okay, it's the difference between the sales and the variable costs. We also have this contribution is also called as contribution margin. So you can see simply what contribution is. contribution is equal to sales minus variable cost, or else contribution is equal to fixed cost plus profit. Fixed cost plus profit. That comes the contribution. We can also call contribution. We can also have this contribution margin. Okay, contribution margin is nothing but the difference between the selling price per unit. Margin, when we go with the margin, we call it as difference between the selling price per unit and the variable cost per unit. Variable cost per unit, if you write per unit, it is called as contribution margin. Okay, so you know what is profit. What is profit? Profit is nothing but this contribution minus the fixed cost. Contribution minus fixed cost gives the profit. Okay, so what is this margin of safety? Okay, margin of safety. Generally, we can explain this margin of safety in number of units. Okay, and also number of units in the sense number of units produced, and also we can also mention it in the sales safety in sales volumes also. Okay, okay, you see here, just to see the general definition there which is given here. Margin of safety. Margin of safety is the excess of sales over the break even sales. What is this break even sales? That is nothing but the number of sales at a break even point. Break even point is the point where we don't have any profit or loss. If it further increases, if we cross this break even point or break even sales, and if still we have more number of sales than this break even sales, we will have the profit. Okay, generally we will be identifying this margin of safety such a way that we don't have any loss. Okay, for example, you can see why it is necessary for knowing all these type of concepts. So generally you have to know this. Whenever you are doing your business, you will be having generally workers under you. Okay, you have workers under you. Due to some reason they may do strike and they quit. They will stop working for you and do some, what you say, some strike like that. You should know this margin of safety. Okay, that means if the strike lasts for more amount of time, if it lasts for more amount of time, definitely your company is going to have loss. Okay, we have to identify this margin of safety in terms of units produced and total volume produced, that in the amount of we have to identify those. Okay, for example, if the workers in your company starts doing a strike, say on 15th of that particular month, from 15th of that particular month, if they start doing strike, for example, so you have to deliver, say, some 20,000 number of units. 20,000 number of units you have to give to the some. You have an order. So from different companies, you have an order, and you have to give. You have to supply this 20,000 number of units by the end of September end. By the September ending, if the workers start doing strike in the month of September, that is started on September 15, right? Example. So what you have to do, you should know that how many number of goods are available in the stock. That means in the godown, which is already made and kept. Your required order is 20,000 number of units. Okay, well and good. If you have 15,000 number of goods in the godown, and they started strike on 15th of that this month. You have to think, okay, let them do the strike. They will be discussions will be going on with you and the union president, and what you have to do. Okay, you try to solve some of the problems. They may ask everything, but it is not possible to solve all the problems. But at least we have to solve some of the problems. What they ask, we have to satisfy at the little bit amount. If not, if the strike lasts up to 30th, what happens? You are unable to give the order what they have, what you get. You are unable to supply the goods, your product to the concerned persons who has ordered you. And also in the business, how it will be means, generally they will you will have an agreement like this. Okay, if you are unable to provide the required product within the time, you have to pay extra money also. Okay, do you know what these software employees or software companies will be maintained? A client will be giving, a client will be asking for some softwares, and the software company will be with the help of their employees, it will be trying to do that software, and it has to supply to its client company, right? If they are unable to do within the time, they have to pay huge amount of fine. So that is the reason why they get and generally they used to have insurance for those projects. Okay, so actually the pay of the employee will be more in the court, but by after paying these already these type of insurances and all, the salary will be very less actually. Okay, so what is this margin of safety? We have to think that there should not be any loss. So what we have to do to, for not having any loss, we have to produce some number of goods. If you produce less than those that number of goods, you will have loss. If you produce more than that goods and if you sell it, you will be having some profit. So in the previous discussion, I have said that if the company is in the strike for from 15th of that particular month, September 15th, okay, for example, first for the first 5 days, no problem for you. You don't have any tension. After 5 days, that means it is around 20 to 25. Okay, but your company can produce only 3,000 goods per 2 days, for example. What happens? More. You will have more tens, and what you have to do? You have to go with the satisfaction of their requirements, and you have to produce this 5,000 number of goods within 2 or 3 days, and you have to give your order. Whoever ordered you, you have to supply your goods. If not, your company reputation will be lost. Okay, you will have a bad reputation for your company. Okay, so margin of safety in the sense here, at some particular point of time, we have to produce some excess number of goods and keep them aside. Okay, so a large margin of safety indicates the soundness of the business. So here the margin of safety is generally the present sales minus the break even sales. Present sales minus the break even sales gives the margin of safety sales. Okay, what is this? So your break even sales is 10,000 number of units, and you have already sold 12,000 number of 12,000 number of sales so far. What is your margin of safety in sales? 2,000, right? 12,000 is your present sales, and break even sales is 10,000. So we have 2,000 break even, that is margin of safety sales, right? So this can also we can get with this type of rule. called as profit by PV ratio. PV ratio is profit volume ratio. PV ratio in the sense profit volume ratio. So actual sales minus the break even point. If you want in units, you can use it for the margin of safety units, and you can also write those same thing in the rupees also. So how to improve this margin of safety? You can see increasing the production, increasing the selling price, okay, reducing the fixed or the variable costs or both. So how to increase this margin of safety means, that means you are in the profit. Margin of safety in the sense you are in the profit. If your selling price is more, if if there is no problem and if your selling price is more, it is not issue for you. Okay, you have to increase the production. You have to increase the number of goods produced in a single day. Okay, then only you will not have any problem in future, right? Reducing the fixed and variable costs are both okay. Substituting unprofitable product with profitable one. Do you get what is this? Substituting the unprofitable product with the profitable one. If your company is producing, say example A, B, and C, so on A, if you are getting more amount of profit, on B, if you don't have any profit or loss, and on C, you are getting loss. So the loss what you get is less than the profit what you get on A. Do you get what I'm saying? By selling product A, you are getting more amount of product profit, but by selling C, you are getting less amount of loss, and by B, you don't have any profit or loss. What you have to do then? So better to discontinue C. Better to discontinue C, such a way that we don't have loss. Okay, we don't have less. We will eliminate less loss, so automatically we'll have more amount of profit. Okay, such things we have to do. We have to take this type of decision. When you are a manager, you have to take this type of decisions. Okay, to improve your profit or the profit of the company, right? So we have the concept called as angle of incidence. So actually we have a figure here. That thing I'll show you. Okay, that thing I'll show you. Angle of incidence actually. I'll show you later that one. So what is this PV ratio? That is profit volume ratio. Generally we call this break-even analysis. The other name for this is profit, sorry, cost volume profit analysis. The other name for this break-even analysis is cost volume profit analysis. Okay. So see here how to determine the break-even point. You can see. Okay. See here how can we get a break-even point in number of units? That means the number of units has, how many number of units has to be produced, such a way that you don't have any profit or loss. That is the break-even point in the number of units. And the second one is the break-even point in rupees. First you can see here. First if you see break-even point in units, that is nothing but the fixed expenses divided by the contribution per unit. Okay, contribution, fixed expenses. We can also call it as fixed cost divided by the contribution margin per unit. Okay, contribution margin per unit, that gives you the break even point in terms of units. We can also have break even point in the rupees. One is the same thing, fixed expenses. We can also call it as fixed expenses as fixed costs divided by the contribution margin ratio. Contribution margin ratio, fixed costs divided by the contribution margin ratio. That is break even point in volumes. For example, if you can see in rupees, fixed expenses divided by contribution multiplied with the sales, we get the break even point. So P by V ratio, you can see here. What is this P by V ratio? P by V ratio, you can see. P by V ratio is helpful for studying the profitability of the business. Okay. Generally, we give contribution divided by sales into the 100. Okay. So we have different types of formula here. Okay. So we can have, when we determine the break-even point, we have the selling price. Selling price is nothing but the fixed cost plus variable cost plus profit. That gives us the selling price. If you subtract the selling price from selling price from the selling price, if you subtract the variable cost, you get fixed cost plus profit, which is nothing but the contribution. Okay. If you want contribution per unit, we subtract variable cost per unit from the selling price per unit. Okay. Based on these, we will see some problems. Okay. Based on this, there you can have a clear picture of what is this and all. Okay. So margin of safety units, margin of safety in sales volumes. Okay. Yeah, you can see the graph here. So here you are having sales. They are using in terms of dollars, sales in terms of dollars in the y-axis, and production capacity percentage on the x-axis. You can see these are the curves. These are the sales units. Okay, these are the sales line, and this is the cost line. Okay, this is the sales line and this is the cost line. They're touching at particular point. They're touching at a particular point where what they want to say is, if you produced 50 percentage of goods, and if you sell those, the sale is around $20,000. Okay, at that particular point of time, you will not have any loss. Okay, any loss or profit. If you have produced 40 percentage of goods, and the cost line is here. If it is, that means you are in the net loss area. Net loss area. So if you have produced around 50 percentage of goods, if you that means if you have produced 60 percentage of goods, your sales are here. It is, that means you are in the net profit area. That means producing the number of goods and selling at some particular point of price will also make you be in the profit, or else if you don't produce that particular amount of goods, and if you don't sell that particular amount of sales, you will be in the loss. Okay, we already know that the number, if there is more number of goods produced, if more number of goods are produced, automatically the cost of each good will be less, and if we are able to sell those in some fixed cost, we can have some amount of profit, right? Okay, this is the break-even analysis, and we can further discuss on this break-even analysis with the help of problems. Okay, some simple example problems we'll see. Okay, see you in the next class.